Welcome to Who Cares, a podcast by SEIU 2015. I'm Arnulfo de la Cruz, the president of SEIU 2015, and now the host of Who Cares. We are the largest union of long-term care workers across the country. We're also committed to the important issues that are related to long-term care workers and those whom they care for. In episode 1, I was joined by Fresno County Supervisor Luis Chavez. Luis and I had a great conversation about the important issues to care workers and care recipients. In Fresno, we've been working hard to get a fair contract for home care providers in Fresno, and Luis has been a champion on our issues. This is episode number 2, and today I'm really excited to be joined by our sister, Flora Martinez. Flora is a proud member of our union, SEIU 2015, but she's also on the Ontario-Montclair School District Board of Trustees. Welcome, Flora.
Thank you. Thank you so much, brother, for introducing me and for having me here. Thank you.
And Flora, I've admired, seeing your growth as a leader, not just of the union, as a caregiver, but also a leader in your community and now being an elected official. For those who are listening, tell us a little bit more about your leadership journey, your decision to be a caregiver, what inspired you to get involved in your union, and also ultimately to run for public office.
Sure. So this goes way back, right? But I'm going to try to make it short. I think that my leadership really was rooted by our ancestors who came before us and fought for us to have better opportunities in life, right? I came from immigrant parents who didn't understand how to navigate the systems in the U.S., but they were hard workers. And at the time, they did believe in the American dream. So that kind of motivated me to be like, okay, well, it could be possible, right? But that doesn't mean that we didn't live in a marginalized community where resources were really hard to obtain. But then later on, my child, who was 2, got diagnosed with autism. This was back in 2004. Well, he got diagnosed in 2002, but I became a caregiver in 2004. And throughout my journey, I've learned the value of patience, resilience, the importance of standing up for others. And I think that's key, which really naturally led me to engage more actively in my union. I met so many brothers and sisters that were very inspiring to me. And I attended the 2015 Democracy School and later attended the LA's first cohort candidate training program, where I learned a lot. And that's actually where I met Hugo, our political director. I'm also part of the SEIU Women of Color Ready to Run and Serve cohort. And that is organized by Miss Stefana Circe in the national level. So I feel very privileged and honored to be surrounded and be part of such powerful women all around the U.S.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. What an incredible journey, Flora. We're so proud of you and all that you are going to accomplish and you have. Now, you're a school board member. So as they say, so to speak, where the rubber meets the road, that is a position of being an elected official that really is on the ground, right? People have high expectations of their children, of schools and the role that they play. And so being a school board member, that must come with a lot of great experiences, but also challenges, right? I know that post-pandemic, the schools were a place where kind of everyone came back, and there was so much that I think everyone was trying to accomplish given the special role that they play in our children's lives and our communities' lives. So you've served on the Ontario-Montclair School District Board since 2020. Tell us about what you've been facing on the board and how I guess this is your first term. How's it going?
Going in, I thought, you go in with such idealistic views and you're motivated, and that doesn't, it's not that I'm not motivated or I don't have these idealistic, views anymore, but it was very rewarding and both challenging at the same time. My first term has been a real learning experience in learning how to navigate the complexities of negotiations, the policy creations, and overall what good governance looks like, right? I quickly learned that it was impossible to make everyone happy, but that realization has only reinforced my commitment to being fair and just in all of my decisions. So, not steering away from that is really important to me, because balancing the needs of students and teachers, parents, and community members often requires careful consideration and compromise. But each decision I make ultimately is grounded in my desire to do what's right for our students, right? I really am proud of the work we've been able to accomplish. But as a lifelong learner, I know there's still much to be done, because times change and we need to be cautious of that.
That's so powerful. Yes, that's exactly right. And I know from our perspective, the beautiful thing about having you be elected to the school board is really having a caregiver and caregiver sensibilities being brought to a position of public office is such a powerful testament of your leadership and also the union. But also, I think you inspire other moms, other women of color, caregivers, union members to understand that they can, step into their power and they can do things like run for public office. So you're such a wonderful testament, Flora, to so many folks who maybe someone tells them, they can, or, public office is only for certain people. I think that you broke down those barriers in a lot of ways. And there's other members of our union who have gone on to run for public office. But we're just really proud of the steps that you've taken. Leading up to running for school board, you were also involved in disability justice and language justice. And I know both of those things are so important to our caregiver members who are listening. Tell us why you chose those areas in particular to get involved in.
Well, in working in these areas of disability justice and language justice, I quickly realized that while awareness has grown, acceptance is still very challenging for many to learn how to engage with some of our community members who are disabled and or have language barriers. So I see awareness as a vehicle used to in hopes that people better understand some of the obstacles we face, right? And although some people sympathize, it's not enough. Our neurodivergent population, like any other group, wants to be seen and respected and truly integrated into society, not just tolerated. As a Latina, I also recognize the cultural stigma and shame that sometimes surrounds both disability and language barriers in our community. So I don't take our leadership responsibility lightly. We have to contribute in breaking down these barriers and advocating for gender inclusivity. By addressing these areas, I believe that we can create spaces where every person feels valued, understood, and accepted for who they are.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that lens and your philosophy on what guides your work and why you were so passionate specifically about those things. What intersection do you see between the long-term care community and the education community, both in terms of the labor needs, but also the needs of those who caregivers care for, and also the needs of our children?
So both fields have similar challenges, right? A high demand of dedicated, skilled workers, and a need for resources that allow us to serve our recipients and students with dignity and the attention they deserve. In long-term care, our recipients need compassion and well-trained caregivers to thrive, right? Just like our students who also need dedicated educators and support staff who can nurture their growth and learning. Additionally, we face overlapping issues around burnout and worker shortages. So that's there is truly a need out there. The people we have to care for deserve environments that value them. Our children deserve learning spaces that empower them. So investing in everyone's well-being is critical, both in education and long-term care. So investing in us is important, right? We need to highlight that.
That's exactly right. And thank you. I don't think naturally people could maybe connect the intersectionality between those two in the way that you have been able to, Flora. So we really appreciate you explaining that. And then what else would you like to say to those listening as a woman, as a caregiver, as a mother, as a woman of color, to our members who might be wondering, how could they get more involved in their union? We know how busy life can get, right? And how challenging. But what would you like to say to others listening on how, they might be wondering, how would I get involved in my union, in my community?
all the roles that you mentioned and then some, right? I firsthand know how complex our lives can be. Also, believing these roles make us a uniquely powerful advocates is key. So, to every woman out there who's listening to us, get involved. Your voice is needed. Our experiences as caregivers and women of color bring essential insights into the issues facing our communities. And it's through collective action that we can push for the changes we want to see. So getting involved doesn't have to mean a huge time commitment at first. Even small actions like make a difference, whether it's attending a union meeting, speaking up for workplace fairness, volunteering locally. All these can go ahead and have a ripple effect that can improve our workplaces, schools, and neighborhoods. So our union and our communities thrive when people like us step up. We bring compassion, understanding, and this could lead us to success. So please go out and vote and truly vote, like true to just go out and vote and vote for people who truly represent us.
There you have it. Siblings, sisters, brothers. Flora Martinez is one of our very own, a member of our union, someone who inspires, I think, all of our members to be able to do more. We're so proud of you. I know that you're a proud member of this union. You've done an incredible job on Ontario-Montclair School District Board of Trustees. Flora has already won her term in office because no one ran against her for this election cycle she had mentioned. So again, congratulations, Flora. Felicidades. And let's get out there, as Flora just reminded us, and exercise our right in our democracy. Let's make calls for other endorsed candidates. Let's not be afraid to talk to other people, right? We know that politics, well, they say don't talk about politics and religion at the dinner table, but it is important to talk about, to support care and justice champions and make sure that everyone is supporting our endorsed candidates on November 5th. Flora, thank you so much for all that you do for your union, for our care agenda, our community. We know that you'll keep making a big difference, not just in your community, for your own family, but across California and our union. So again, thanks for joining us for episode 2 of Who Cares, and really look forward to seeing you next time. Flora, take good care and hope to see you soon.
Yes, likewise. Take care, everybody.